today we heard heart-wrenching testimony from students and a teacher who relived those horrifying moments on Valentine's Day 4 years ago and the 17 innocent lives claimed by Nicholas Cruz on his deadly path. Sounds of a high school under siege and the horrifying moments of a killing spree. Danielle Gilbert cringing and shedding tears on the witness stand. She was a junior at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School when the shooting occurred. Her cell phone camera rolling as gunfire erupted through her classroom, claiming one of her classmates inside.
We were just sitting, kind of like sitting ducks. We had no way to protect ourselves, no way to stand up for ourselves.
Her story similar to Brittany Sinich, a teacher who remembers the exact moment when a Valentine's Day project with her students turned to darkness.
We were having so much fun until I heard what I described as just the loudest noise you could possibly imagine.
Sinich quickly shielded her students from danger.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello, we're at Stoneman Douglas High School, and I think there's a shooter.
Her frantic call to 911, inaudible, no match to the sound of gunfire eerily close by.
They couldn't hear me over the sound of the gunshots. It was so incredibly loud.
Now, we only heard from prosecutors today. The defense delaying their opening statements. They say they will present that during the full presentation of their case in about 3 weeks. Now, the only way Nicholas Cruz will be sentenced to death is if all 12 jurors agree. In Broward County, Linnie Supal, WPTV, News Channel 5. We got a closer glimpse at the horror that unfolded inside the freshman building at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School 4 years ago. Students and teachers coming face to face once again with the man who claimed 17 innocent lives. A mix of sorrow, pain, and anger. In court Tuesday, Christopher McKenna pointed directly at the gunman who confessed to killing his classmates and high school coach. McKenna was a freshman on Valentine's Day 4 years ago. He remembers the high five he gave to Martin Duquet and Luke Hoyer in the hallway that Wednesday afternoon, not knowing it would be the last time he'd see them. Moments later, McKenna reached the stairwell, and that's when he saw the gunman who gave him this distinct and alarming message right before the killing spree began.
I walked into a man. He was wearing a maroon shirt with a JROTC shirt with a backpack and a hat on, black pants. He had a rifle in his hands. I was stunned for 1 second, and he said to me, "Get out of here. Things are about to get bad."
I remember feeling trickling down the back of my head and onto my chest. And then, I touched the back of my head, and then my hand was all bloody.
But that warning came too late. It was just moments before Cruz opened fire with an AR-15, killing 14 students, a teacher, a coach, and an athletic director. Nicholas Cruz already pleaded guilty for claiming their lives. This trial will determine if he will pay for those crimes with his life. Prosecutors now presenting their case. It's expected to last about 3 weeks. And during that time, the jury expected to visit the crime scene, the freshman building that's remained untouched over the last 4 years. Reporting live from the Broward County Courthouse tonight, Linnie Supal, WPTV, News Channel 5. It was an upcoming drill planned at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School that led to chaos and confusion as teachers quickly realized the threat of an active shooter was real. A tight-knit high school community torn apart and terrifying moments as a shooter embarked on his deadly path. Gilletta Matlock, a teacher, was hosting a study hall in her classroom on Valentine's Day 4 years ago, remembering her false sense of safety, thinking the initial gunshots were part of a drill announced just 1 month before.
In January, and they said there would be a drill forthcoming of an active shooter or a code red, some type of code red drill. I thought it was that drill.
And it was at that very moment when he had that aha moment that he knew the answer to that, we heard very loud shots going off in the hallway right outside the classroom door.
6 minutes and 20 seconds was all it took for the gunman to kill 14 students and 3 staff members at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. Several teachers acted on instinct, immediately putting their lives on the line to protect their students. And several students who were struck by gunfire also testified in court today. Will share their stories about how they pushed through their pain to save other students in their classroom. Reporting live from the Broward County Courthouse tonight, Linnie Supal, WPTV, News Channel 5. Good evening. That road to recovery still in progress for 17 young victims who were injured in that deadly attack. So far, 16 have testified in court, facing the man who almost took their life. Survivors of a mass shooting detailing their near-death experience, escaping the relentless attack of gunfire. In court this week, they're recalling the terrifying moments, high school students fighting for their lives.
He started out, since I was running, he targeted me, started shooting at me.
The gunman targeting Kyle Lamont as he tried to escape, but he was struck down, a bullet shattering his ankle.
It's like blood, and I'm hearing shots going off, people are screaming, and me and Tyler are terrified. I look at him, and he looks at me. I'm like, we're going to die. What do we do? 14 children and 3 staff members died in the vicious attack. 17 others still recovering, including Anthony Borges, showing the jury the deep scars from bullet wounds. Madeline Wilford, another victim of the attack.
I was shot 4 times in my right arm, my right lung, some of my ribs on my right side, and I had surgery on my abdomen.
Cell phone cameras were rolling on that deadly day, families hearing their children's desperate pleas for help. Oh my God, but the gunman was seen covering his ears, blocking the sounds of young victims crying for help. And also tonight, we are sharing a minute-by-minute account of the gunman's path right after the shooting. Tonight at 6, we will share the chilling surveillance video, as well as an odd request he made to a student right before his arrest. Reporting live from the Broward County Courthouse tonight, Linnie Supal, WPTV, News Channel 5. That's right. The defense trying to make the case that the shooter suffered brain damage while in his mother's womb. They say his birth mother was a prostitute who used alcohol and cocaine, and that led him to having impulse control and socialization issues. Yesterday, during a trial, a neuropsychologist testified the shooter has an IQ of 83. Tests show Cruz had impairments in multiple intellectual categories, including memory, language, and impulsivity. His lawyers say the shooter saw a psychiatrist for the first time at 3 years old. Teachers also testified the shooter had outbursts in class and by middle school was making threats.
When you move into kind of what he knows versus what he can do and how he can apply it independently, he was doing significantly worse.
Prosecutors call this a planned and systematic murder. They'll get the opportunity to cross-examine the neuropsychologist today. The shooter already pleaded guilty to murdering 14 children and 3 staff members with an AR-15 style rifle. This trial will determine if he'll face the death penalty or spend the rest of his life in prison without parole.